Amuro Ray is a great character. His teenage angst was great for fleshing him out and developing him. At some point in our lives, we will or already have been teenagers, and witness a smaller form of what Amuro is experiencing. Just to be precise to viewers, I mean the original Mobile Suit Gundam. Amuro, like many teenagers, feels like the world is against him. Bright and Ryu at some point hit him because of his angst. Frau even criticizes Amuro for not being man enough to pilot the Gundam, a killing machine. His mother antagonized him because he shot at an officer who was planning on attacking him. A situation where you can't think of him doing anything else, especially when he has been ingrained to fight at war. His father even went crazy from the working environment because of the war. As you can see, Amuro doesn't have too good of a life. No one really thanked him for his job of being a soldier, and he went unnoticed by his peers. At some point in the story, they didn't even need Amuro anymore to pilot Gundam. He was merely a vessel to be used and thrown away. There was a point in the story where Amuro witnessed enemy soldiers helping a mother and her child, and when they spotted Amuro, they chased him. He couldn't let them follow him, and they were sure to attack, so he killed them. This was an example of everything good or bad always being against Amuro, as if he was a target on both sides. He never felt at home at White Base in its hostile environment, and had no friends. He will always be an enemy to the Zeon, but he's also been an enemy to the Federation. Another aspect of his teenage angst is that he feels like he has no control over his life. His life changes after one stupid thing he does as a kid, and after that, he's been forced to pilot Gundam. At the White Base, we can see that Amuro dislikes being inside the Gundam. Bright understandably gets frustrated because teenage angst in war isn't good. Amuro has to be obedient and follow what he says for everyone's lives. The only problem is that Amuro is a cost for everyone's safety. He can't get sleep and he can't eat because of Bright pushing him too much. This dramatizes the war and plays into Amuro's malaise. He has to be robotic and listen to Bright's every command. He has no say and no control over his life. Bright commands him to eat and to sleep. Amuro even has a part where he tries to regain his life by escaping with the Gundam. Even though they use it as a facade to show Amuro is important to the White Base, it also shows how everyone thought he was replaceable. They didn't want Amuro to come back simply to be their pilot and that they relied on him, but because Amuro knew too much and that the Gundam was more important than every other weapon on the ship. Frau didn't want Amuro to come back to the ship, but really the Gundam to come back mostly. They even use his way of burying out of his phase to correlate to character development. He realizes that piloting Gundam isn't just for him, but for everyone on board he's gotten attached to. Before he was forced to, but we see that he's willing to sacrifice sleep, food, and his safety for everyone, essentially to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the people. He realizes that his teenage angst has no room for war. Amuro Ray's teenage angst is to show how he feels like the world is against him, and that he has no control over his life. The angst is used to flesh him out and make us empathize with him, and add more layers to his character. This is seen with how he reacts to his newer responsibilities, and how others react to him handling them. His anxiety is also used to develop him, to change him into a person who thinks more nobly. He realizes that sacrifices must be made for things to be right.